I'm Michael Alm from Alm Fab. I'm out here from Seattle, Washington, and I'm hanging out with the TotalBoat crew this week. I'm also hanging out with my buddy, Johnny Tromboukis.
Hey, I'm Johnny Tromboukis from JT Woodworks, and I've been traveling the Northeast with my good buddy, Michael Alm, and we thought it would be really cool to come and hang out with the TotalBoat crew here at TotalBoat HQ.
Johnny Tromboukis and I have been traveling around the East Coast. I've been working on a couple of pattern plywood things, and Johnny's been working on some of his kumiko.
Kumiko is a type of Japanese woodworking which originated back in around the year 600 AD in Japan, and it's used as a decorative art form to add designs and geometric patterns to wooden screens.
I found some scrap plywood in the racks around TotalBoat, and I just started ripping it up into strips so I can make various patterns. I'm going to be making the chevron pattern, the alpine pattern, as well as a couple of hex patterns.
I made a small panel for TotalBoat, and both Mike and Kristen got a hand at trying kumiko, and they both absolutely crushed it. They did a great job, and this was their first time trying it out.
When I got the strips cut, I enlisted the help from a bunch of the TotalBoat crew, and we made quick work of it and then glued it up onto a panel so that we can use it later for other projects.
I usually keep the epoxy colors pretty simple in my projects, but I figured let's try something new. I usually use a lot of blues, and this time I figured let's add a complementary color, which was copper. The fish were a really cool touch because that was just some extra epoxy that we had left over that I poured into molds. And that was really a last-minute decision to add them into the panel, and I think it turned out really cool.
I also made a TotalBoat logo out of a bunch of scrap pattern plywood, which we covered with the tabletop epoxy. So pattern plywood is a technique that I've developed over the last few years of taking strips of plywood, re-gluing them into a bunch of different patterns using a whole bunch of different techniques. I've got videos on all the different patterns that I've made this week, but I also have been experimenting with more, and we'll be coming out with more designs soon. The cool thing about pattern plywood is it doesn't actually take a lot of plywood. You can use a scrap sheet and you can make a whole bunch of little panels. They're great for accents or drawer fronts or all sorts of different things. I've seen people use them to make knife scales and handles and axe handles, all sorts of different things. It's really a fun practice, and although it looks complicated, it's not quite as hard as it looks.